of the case. And what I've said is that this case can never be resolved in a court of law. There's no court of law in Nigeria that can resolve the issue. It is not a matter for the courts. The courts were only brought in to come and create the necessary excuse to keep Nnamdi Kanu perpetually detained by the Nigerian government. No judge has ever prevailed in social movement matters of this scale. It is just like saying that, oh, it was a court of law that ended discrimination in America. No, it was done by people putting their boots on the ground. Of course, when they see that people are determined and serious, the court of laws will then act as ancillaries on the side to lend credence and legality to actions of people who are fighting for freedom. That's what nobody wants to accept about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. I was the one who told Aloy Jimako at the car park of the Federal High Court in Abuja. I'm talking about this 2024, when the Supreme Court sent the case back to the Federal High Court. That the Supreme Court had already said that the bill is existing. Why are you applying for another bill? But it wasn't him that was the problem. It's that the Nigerian state knew what was happening and knew that they had no case. I've heard people use my release or removal, my own case ending as an excuse. No, I also said, if you remember from day one in court, I told the judge that there's no case, you're just wasting your time. Sure. I told all the judges that I appeared before in my case.
It is now very clear and understandable that the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will not be determined by any court in Nigeria. Yes, even if any court or any judge come out to say, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today you are discharged and acquitted. Lie. DSS go still hold him. Why? Because his case now is a political case. That is why you will hear some of these governors, some reps, some senators will come out and tell you, we have gone to meet Tinubu to beg him to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, that is the reason. Because everybody understood now that it is a political case. It is a political case. It's no longer whatever. Of course, just a couple of months ago, the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in Nigeria, has said, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we are discharged and acquitted. But unfortunately, for some political reasons, they still hold him. So everybody understood that his case now is a political case. But another unfortunate thing is that those that are supposed to be speaking for him politically are toiling and playing around with the case. So unfortunate. So unfortunate. That is why you hear Governor Oti of Abia State will come out and tell you, don't worry. They will release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu soon. I have met with the president. They will release him soon. Foul. That is why you also hear the one of Anambra State will come out and tell you, we are demanding for the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and his associates.
We demand for the urgent release of Nnamdi Kanu, his colleagues, and all prisoners of conscience as part of the process of the search for national cohesion and building a new Nigeria.
Foul. Am I talking of Enugu State own, Pitamba? Or should I even talk about Imo State, Hope Uzodimma? Or should I even talk about this one of Ebony State, Francis Iwifure? I think that is his name, Francis Iwifure. That one, what he did, that I watched the news and I was like, what is happening? He went to create an autonomous community, make his father king. How? Naija, nothing person no go here for this country. Anyway, that one is a talk for another day. But what I'm saying in essence is that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case is a political case. And some politicians also are using this opportunity, and of course the insecurity in the southeast, to carry out one or two bad, one or two things that is not right in the southeast, all in the name of IPOB, ESN, criminal activities, insecurity in the southeast. But Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said it and made it categorically clear that they should release him, that he's going to stop insecurity in the southeast.
And they know it very well. And I suspect that some people in government are complicit. They are making money with insecurity. That's correct. They are making money with it. They know Nnamdi Kanu is outside. In 2 minutes, this nonsense will stop. Who is the idiot? Who is the bagger? That will speak when I'm talking. Who is the fool? Who is the idiot? I ask. That I give an order in the east and any idiot will counter it. Who is the bastard? I'm asking you. So, sir, nobody can.
Sir, are you against?
No. Who is the idiot? Form of violence or insecurity in the southeast. In the name of IPOK is in Ghana, and they know it. Let me come out of this nonsense, this mess. 2 minutes only. Only 2 minutes, I guarantee you. And there'll be peace in the east, not just southeast. Everywhere in the east, not the Biafra.
But unfortunately, for some political reasons, it has not been released. So we are begging. Also, I use this video to beg whoever that is in charge, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to please, we are pleading with him to please release Nnamdi Kanu. Please, we are begging. Whoever that is in charge, to please, we are pleading, release Nnamdi Kanu. Please, we are begging. So I will allow you to watch the full video of what Sowore said, all right? But as you're watching it, please drop a comment, your comment on the comment section, all right? What you think. You can drop a prayer for Nnamdi Kanu that, you know, he lives in good health. You can also drop any comment of anything you think on the comment section, all right? But for now, let me allow you to watch this video.
Of the case. And what I've said is that this case can never be resolved in a court of law. There's no court of law in Nigeria that can resolve the issue. It is not a matter for the courts. The courts were only brought in to come and create the necessary excuse to keep Nnamdi Kanu perpetually detained by the Nigerian government. No judge has ever prevailed in social movement matters of this scale. It is just like saying that, oh, you know, it was a court of law that ended discrimination in America. No, it was done by people putting their boots on the ground. Of course, when they see that people are determined and serious, the court of laws will then act as ancillaries on the side to lend credence and legality to actions of people who are fighting for freedom. That's what nobody wants to accept about the Nnamdi Kanu's case. I was the one who told Aloy Jimako at the car park of the Federal High Court in Abuja. I'm talking about this 2024, when the Supreme Court sent the case back to the Federal High Court. That the Supreme Court had already said that the bill is existing. Why are you applying for another bill? But it wasn't him that was the problem. It's that the Nigerian state knew what was happening and knew that they had no case. I've heard people use my release or removal, my own case ending as an excuse. No, I also said, if you remember from day one in court, I told the judge that there's no case, you're just wasting your time. Sure. I told all the judges that appeared before in my case, I told them they're wasting their time until it became clear. And let me make a revelation to you today that I have also applied, and I know you knew this, to see Nnamdi Kanu 3 different times. 2 different times I drove to the DSS, stayed there for several hours. They pretended I said they were going to make it happen. It never happened. When Tinubu came into office, I also reached out to people who I thought were sensible to let them understand that you cannot prevail against the Biafran struggle. The only solution is political. You can go and write this down any day. So let's have this resolved now. And you know what they told me at that time? The person who I spoke to said, why are you not talking about your case? And you're putting Kanu's case, you are stuck in Nigeria. You know, I said, I don't have a case. That's what I told the person. I said, I do not have a case. But it was from there that I knew that the Southeastern political elites were not interested in Nnamdi's freedom. Because when that conversation that I talked to you about was supposed to kick off, they said, no, don't be in a hurry. We want to do more election first. If you release Nnamdi Kanu, we are going to lose anymore. APC will lose. That was the first political consideration that led to the suspension of Nnamdi Kanu's release or conversation about his release. Politics. And it was championed by the Southeastern political elites. And I have spoken about this publicly. And nobody has denied it. In fact, it was after I spoke about it that they went and sat together and had a charade. I don't know in which of the states. All the governors saying they are going to pursue Nnamdi Kanu's release. All the governors. They never did anything about it as a group because they are half-hearted interested in his release. And Tinubu is enjoying it because the chaos that is happening in the Southeast gives them the opportunity to be doing what they want to do in Nigeria. And I have said it publicly and openly all the time. The Nigerian political elite as a whole love it when there's chaos everywhere because the more chaos there is, the less space they have to govern. You imagine now they don't have to construct roads anywhere in the Southeast because they will tell you that IPOB is making it impossible. IPOB is making it impossible to invest in education. The only thing they have to do is also invest money in security. And you know that's the most opaque way of spending money in Nigeria, security. So just be throwing money. That's the easiest way to steal is to claim that you are using money to fight some enemy. But they would have cost Nigeria less, both in human and financial resources, if Nnamdi Kanu had released, not even that Tinubu, but years ago. But that is why I come to the position that he's been held hostage for Nigeria's unity. And that it has to do with the way Nigeria has permanently, consistently, and doggedly suppressed the Igbos since the end of the war in 1970. And it goes back to the reason I told you. That's the reason I met Nnamdi Kanu. One of the reasons, apart from several other reasons, that I wasn't one of the people who fought the war. I cannot continue to fight the war because I was born in 1971 after the war. I don't want to continue a war started by foolish people. Are you telling me? Are you listening to me? And has destroyed an entire generation of persons. And the unity of Nigeria that they claim they're holding Nnamdi Kanu for, that unity has fallen apart more since they have been holding Nnamdi Kanu. More and more Nigerians no longer believe in Nigeria because of the way Nigeria is handling the case. And they're not going to learn. Trust me. They're not going to learn. Except when it is clear that everybody is united to fight these people. Because at the end of the day, and it's very important, is to understand that there's a central political elite in Nigeria that's holding Nigeria to ransom. And that takes us back to what happened when I met Nnamdi Kanu, which you remember. I told him, brother, let's unite. Yes, I love your struggle in the Southeast, but how about we do it together? Let's have a revolution once and for all. And you'll be surprised that we don't need a Biafran nation anymore, because why do you want Biafra? It's not justice. It's not economic development, social development. It's not decentralization, restructuring, and all the things you're talking about. You remember I said that again. And one of the things he said to me when we were done with that conversation, you remember, I said, I'm going to Nigeria. I said, are you mad? Going to Nigeria? You see, these people just killed 28 people in front of my house. They're going to kill you, especially now that you have met with me. And I said, it's fine. If it is death, there's nothing anybody can do to stop it, including the people who want to kill you. They too will die someday. Some of them will even die before you die.
Sure.
Yes. So we don't have control over death, but we have control over our conscience as long as we're alive. And we must work together.
Mr. President, sorry I'm cutting you short.
Yes.
But
all right. So you have seen it. As I said earlier, this man is a presidential aspirant, so he knows what he's saying. As you can hear him say that he called the people direct and talk with them. But unfortunately, the response is getting a negative. So please drop your comment on the comment section what you think about this video, right? And do not forget, in case you are coming across my channel for the first time, do not forget to subscribe, all right? Thank you and God bless you.